Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're going to be talking about semantic models and AI. But before we get to that, as you can see, I'm trying something a little new with my setup here. So no screen blur or fake background, whatever. So I've actually have the Microsoft Hates Greg, right? The physical version of the background the virtual background that I have, and so yeah, I've got that. And you can see the DAX for Humans robe back in the back. So yeah, we're in my office and it's set up a little differently, so I can't have this like, you know, posted behind me on a wall just because of the way the office is set up. So anyway, we're gonna give this a try. All right, with that out of the way, so I saw this post by Marco Russo, and it was like, hey, this morning I was shocked, to hear that consulting firms suggesting that data have been moved out of semantic models to achieve better consumption experiences with LLM. It's a lie. He's like, don't listen to my words. I have a vested interest. So he's biased, right? Is what he's saying here. Hear what a lie this is straight from Rob Colley. I'm thinking to myself, Rob Colley, like how in the world is Rob Colley an unbiased? Because that's the implication here. Like, oh, I'm biased, so here, take it from this unbiased source. Well, Rob Colley runs. This is Rob Colley's LinkedIn profile, right? There he is. P3 Adaptive. He like that's his company. After he like spent like 13 years with Microsoft, right? He went out and started like P3 Adaptive and that sort of thing. And what's P3 Adaptive do? Oh, look, Power BI Consulting, Microsoft Fabric Consulting. It's like so why in the world is Marco like referencing this guy? Like he's more in the tank for Microsoft than probably Marco is. So that was weird. So anyway, what he's referring to is this podcast. I never really listened to this thing, but semantic models give you and Microsoft the AI upper hand, plus a history lesson on why front ends matter. And it's basically just Rob Colley talking and this guy just agreeing with him. Right? That's the whole podcast, I guess. I guess that's interesting to some people. Not me, but why not? So anyway, so they get into this discussion here. Uh, yeah, so the co-pilot, in they basically are saying like, okay, so somebody was saying, hey, like let's some big four consulting firm or something like it was telling them, hey, don't put it in a semantic model. You need to get it out of the semantic models, right? Put it in so we can build AI front ends on top of it. There we go. So this is it. This and so now they're saying this is awful, awful advice. Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, it depends, right? Because I mean, I don't understand that when people talk about AI these days, right? They're talking about LLMs, right? Chat GPT and that sort of thing. But that's not everything that encompasses AI, right? Before we had these things, we already had machine learning and AI in different forms, right? So, and in those cases, right, because if it's in the raw SQL, right, the raw SQL data, that's good for certain AI workloads. And you don't want to have aggregated data, right? You want data in its raw, most pure form, like machine learning data scientists, right? That's they all clamor for it. They want the raw data. They don't want the clean data. They don't want it aggregated. They don't want any of that. They just want the data in its rawest form, right? And that's good for things like forecasting using like time series data, right? It's good for unsupervised pattern matching, right? It's good for deep learning and feature engineering. These are all AI workloads. In fact, the only good thing that maybe a semantic that you'd want a semantic model when interfacing with AI is probably only LLMs, right? I mean, for everything else that you're going to do with AI and stuff like that, semantic models are a bad idea, right? Because they aggregate the data, and that's not what the data scientists want. So, is it, I can see both sides of this, this argument, whatever. Um, but if they're talking specifically about, hey, it's better to have the raw data for the LLMs. Well, I mean, and I probably not. But I can see some pros and cons to each of these solutions. Like Rob, he's sitting there talking about semantic models. Like semantic models are the only things that you can have any kind of business logic built into, or anything that does a repeatable calculation. It's like, Rob, you've never heard of stored procedures? Right? It's like that's the whole purpose of stored procedures is you can do repeatable calculations and store your business logic in there if you want. I mean, back in the day there was huge debates about, does the business logic belong in the app? Does it belong in the database? right? And some of the arguments against putting it in the database were kind of lame. They're like, oh, you can't source control it. Well, yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can source control SQL code, but people would make that argument. It was like, that's a dumb argument, right? I mean, so therefore you can have multiple developers working on stored procedures and that sort of thing. The same stored procedure, although it gets a little dicey maybe once in a while. The only real criticism of doing that I ever felt was probably, you know, correct was that SQL is not a very expressive language. It's not right. I mean, you're talking about like complex things and putting them in SQL. It's just, but your database guys, they would argue for it all day long, and the app that guys would argue not to do it all day long. So anyway, so of course SQL databases can store business logic and restore repeatable calculations, right? And they just ignore that, and it's just mystifying to me. It's like you just forgotten like that SQL has these things, right? But then the next question is, okay, so let's not even get into all of that. Let's just go forward with the assumption that semantic models are a good thing when it comes to LLMs, right? So the question then becomes is whose semantic model? And Rob's like, oh yeah, Power BI, that analysis services tabulates, it's the only semantic model out there that you want to use. It's the best. It's like, do you even know any other semantic models, Rob? Right? I mean, we have DBT, right? And DBT, they have their own semantic model, semantic layer, right? Where you can define all the stuff you can do in Power BI, you can do in DBT, right? So there it is, DBT Labs, and they have their DBT semantic layer, and it's quite good. And then the other one I think that's a good one that's out there that I personally think is intriguing to me because it's open source, right? And is AtScales. AtScales a semantic modeling language, right? SML. So I think it's kind of a neat idea, and they actually have a converter, I think, from Snowflake semantic layer into SML, and also from DBT semantic layer into SML. And so it seems to me like you would want something that's open source and not locking you into a proprietary system, I guess is where I'm going with this, right? I mean, why? So if you have your choice of semantic models, which we'll just assume are good for AI, right? Why would you lock yourself into Microsoft's semantic model, right? And this is so that becomes the debate, right? Why wouldn't you go something that's more open source, right? And this is where Databricks has had a ton of, success in terms of the being open source, right, and adopting open source standards and that sort of thing. I would think that the data people that are out there that appreciate that openness or whatever, and not getting vendor lock-in, right, they would appreciate not getting vendor locked into your semantic model that you're using, right? So, and it's pretty cool, right? I mean, this is an example that's out in the GitHub that shows, basically it's YAML more or less, I believe is what they, yeah, it's YAML, just YAML, and it's YAML files. So it's pretty nifty, right? I think it's kind of an intriguing idea. So is a semantic model the best thing to use with AI? Maybe. Is Microsoft semantic model the best thing to use with AI? Probably not, right? It's going to lock you in to Microsoft. And that's really where I see like Marco and Rob, they're like arguing for semantic models because essentially, if we look in the age of AI, it's like, well, what purpose does Power BI and Fabric solve, or what purpose does it have, right? And so they're of course, Microsoft's like, oh well, they're latching onto the semantic model. Oh, you got to have the semantic model if you're going to do the LLMs and the AI and that sort of thing. And so this is just pushing that narrative. And I don't know if this was intentional on Marco's part. Like I'm biased, so here talk, hear it from this unbiased resource who's just as biased as Marco is, right? I don't know if that was intentional on Marco's part. I hope it wasn't, because that would be kind of sneaky and underhanded to do something like that. So I hope that wasn't intentional. He just doesn't really understand that Rob Colley is just as much in the tank for Microsoft as he is, right? I don't know. But anyway, that is all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.